Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining us. This is Breakfast Daily here on Channel 1 TV. I am Nana Tufo Boateng. It's always a pleasure to come your way and, of course, to be able to serve you nothing but the best breakfast you can find on TV right here on Breakfast Daily. I am honored to be in your homes or wherever it is that you're watching me from. Thank you so much for joining us. Today is the 16th of July, 2025, and guess what? From today, you're going to be paying 1 Ghana CD on every liter of fuel you buy. Interesting times ahead, right? So the government's energy sector levy, the 1 Ghana CD levy, kicks off today. And so from today, any liter of fuel you buy, you're going to pay an extra 1 Ghana CD. Now, the purpose of this tax way here is to salvage or to augment the energy sector, and of course to help keep the power on, to keep the lights on for you and I to enjoy. There's some optimism in the system, but it's cautionary optimism. And then of course you have anxiety and resistance from businesses, stakeholders and consumers alike. Now guess what? From the 1st of July, right, there was a mix of reform taxes that came into being, okay? And so the wide-ranging implications for businesses. And so when these taxes took effect from the 1st of July, it contributes to the cost of doing business and, of course, to our cost of living as consumers or as citizens of this country, okay? But from today, the news is that you're paying 1 CD extra on fuel that you buy. And that's the breakdown, okay? Take it that a gallon of fuel is 4 liters. So to get 1 gallon, you need to buy 4 liters. But on every liter of fuel, you're paying 1 Ghana CD. So do the math yourself, all right? That's just the news that you have to know. But just so you know, in just the month of July, there's been a 5% excise duty on local plastics. 5% excise duty on local plastics. Then, of course, you have a 3% flat rate on individuals or businesses under a presumptive tax regime targeting the informal sector, where if you're earning more than 20,000, between 20,000 and 500,000, there's a 3% flat rate on your earnings. Now, there's the 5% VAT on real estate. This has sparked an outcry in the system because clearly the prices of property is going to go up. Then there's the 15% VAT on non-life insurance. That also came into effect on 1st of July. And then after 15 days, we're adding on the 1 CD levy. There's been some resistance, like I said, especially from transport operators. The commercial transport operators have threatened that they will also be increasing fares somewhere around 30%. We are waiting to see how that plays out. But governments and government's communicators have justified this 1 CD levy, saying that it is a necessary evil that will help keep the power on, help keep the power sector running. I agree that the lights need to stay on because there's no economy that can function without power, okay? But if the government is going ahead with this implementation, then we also want to believe that all stakeholder engagements have happened, and so there shouldn't be any blowbacks. However, with the kind of resistance we're seeing in the system, it looks as though there's still much left to be desired. Shalom. May the good Lord continue to bless all of us as a people. All right. That said, are you below 15 years? Are you a JHS student? Are you 11 or 15? Well, guess what? The literacy challenge is back. Okay, so this year, we have a wonderful, wonderful topic for you, especially students aged between 11 and 15 years. And the topic is quite simple. In not less than 600 words, discuss the effects of climate change on agriculture in Ghana. What challenges do these effects create for individuals, families, communities, and the nation? And then you suggest practical solutions to help all Ghanaians mitigate these challenges. Now, this is how the script should be. Your script must be in your own handwriting. Please take note. Your script must be in your own handwriting. Then it must be endorsed by a parent or guardian. Your script must be endorsed by a parent or guardian, and you need to add your full contact details. Full contact details, quite important. Now, this is how you can get it to us, or you can send it to us. By mail, you are posting to the Literacy Challenge, P.O. Box GP 14123, Accra Central. If you're mailing it to us by Ghana Post, of course, mail it to the Literacy Challenge, P.O. Box GP 14123, Accra Central. Or you can drop it off at our front desk in Adabraka, that's City 97.3 FM, or you bring it to Tesano, Channel 1 TV. Drop it at our front desk, Channel 1 TV at Tesano and 97.3 City FM in Adabraka. The deadline for submission of the entries is Saturday, the 26th of July, 2025. Please take note, no entries will be admitted after Saturday, July 26th. It's quite important. Now, if you need some more information, you can call 0205-973-973. 0205-973-973 for more information. But guess what? At the end of the day, there's 10,000 Ghana cedis up for grabs, including a trophy. But you get to walk away with the bragging rights as the most outstanding all-rounded JHS student for the year 2025. So please be deliberate with your scripts and, of course, commit to participating in the literacy challenge. I take the topic one last time. It says, in not less than 600 words, discuss the effects of climate change on agriculture in Ghana. What challenges do these effects create for individuals, families, communities, and the nation? Suggest practical solutions to help all Ghanaians mitigate these challenges. The script must be in your own handwriting. Your script must be endorsed by a parent or guardian, and you need to add your full contact details. Send it via mail, Ghana Post to the Literacy Challenge, P.O. Box GP 14123, Accra Central. Or you can drop it off at the front desk of 97.3 City FM in Adabraka or Channel 1 TV at Tesano. The deadline for submission is Saturday, July 26, 2025. 10,000 Ghana cedis up for grabs and a trophy, as well as the bragging rights as the most outstanding all-rounded junior high school student for the year 2025. Send in as many entries as you can, and let's see who comes up tops in this year's competition. Now, on Sundays at 6:30 p.m., something wonderful, something beautiful happens on TV, right here on Channel 1 TV, and it's the Volunteers TV show. A lot of people have embarked or engaged in volunteerism across different spheres, different sectors, and they'll be sharing their experiences with you and I on the Volunteers TV show. The basic aim is to whip up the spirit of volunteerism, to help you understand why, and to help you know where, how, and when you can volunteer. So please be a part of the Volunteers TV show every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. right here on Channel 1 TV with your host, Stephen Kweku Daku. Alrighty, the newspapers are here. It's Wednesday, midweek. I am excited, and I hope you are too. Let's bring you the front page of the various dailies that we have this morning. I'm starting off with the Ghanaian Times newspaper, which says government secures $117 million for basic education reforms. That's Dr. Clement Abbas Apak, Deputy Education Minister, speaking there. He says government secures $117 million for basic education reforms. Then this quite worrying, but it's still a story that's got to be told. Safety of meat not guaranteed unless sourced from certified facilities. But how many certified facilities are in this country? And how many Ghanaians can really, actually, realistically afford buying from certified facilities? It's worrying. It's worrying because where we buy our meats, especially the Wele lovers. But we need to be careful, all right? The story says safety of meat not guaranteed unless sourced from certified facilities. And this is according to some experts, all right? President orders arrest of rogue task force. Quite important. There are too many task forces in the Galamsey sector now. I don't know under whose supervision, whose authorization these task forces are working, but there are too many of them, and they are taking advantage sometimes even of legal small-scale miners. And so it's important that the president gives this order and it is acted upon, okay? It shouldn't just be lip service like we have come to know. President orders arrest of rogue task force. Businessman petitions Ioku over alleged $100,000 fraud by 3. Businessman petitions Ioku over alleged $100,000 fraud by 3. That's the front page of the Ghanaian Times. Now, when you go to the back page, some good news. Finally, work begins on $53 million Eastern Corridor Road project. This Eastern Corridor is perhaps the most popular road network in this country. It has seen expression in almost every single budget in this country, but it has never been completed. Now we're being told that work has begun on the $53 million Eastern Corridor Road project. Kudos to the government and the sector minister, Kwame Gavin-Sagboja. We hope that they see through to the construction and completion of this particular road project. Good news there. All right, the final story on the back page of the Ghanaian Times says, government urges teachers to accept rural postings nationwide. Government urges teachers to accept rural postings nationwide. That's it for the Ghanaian Times. Let me take you to the Chronicle. Chronicle newspaper this morning says, miner drags top Minerals Commission official to Iyoko over alleged $100,000 mine concession fraud. When it is coming, it is doing. Miner drags top Minerals Commission official to Iyoko over alleged $100,000 mine concession fraud. Stop beating war drums in Kwewu, chiefs tell journalists. Stop beating war drums in Kwewu, chiefs tell journalists. CDM condemns Ghana's abstention on UN LGBTQ plus vote. CDM condemns Ghana's abstention on UN LGBTQ plus vote. Rejecting top-bottom tyranny, NPP must reclaim its soul. This is attributed to Kotoma. And then when we go into the scriptures, our memory verse for the day is taken from the first book of Thessalonians, the chapter number 4, the verse number 6. That no one should take advantage of and defraud his brother in this matter. That no one should take advantage of and defraud his brother in this matter. May the Lord add his blessings to the reading of his word. That wraps it up for the Chronicle. Let's bring you the Daily Guide. Front page says, businessman petitions Iyoko over $100,000 mining deal. Wow. This story is gaining some prominence almost on all the front pages that we have reviewed so far. Now it's on the front page of the Daily Guide as well. Businessman petitions Iyoko over $100,000 mining deal. Mahama scraps fuel allowance for appointees. Mahama scraps fuel allowance for appointees. Nana denies NPP confab delay plot. Nana denies NPP confab delay plot. Then you have Ghana Link refutes KIA broken scanners claim. Ghana Link refutes KIA broken scanners claim. And VIP inaugurates Entrance Health Sciences Varsity. VIP inaugurates Entrance Health Sciences Varsity. So that's the Daily Guide newspaper. The Herald is here. Herald says, Minerals Commission boss, Adamu's CEO, and another dragged to Iyoko. Businessman alleges $100,000 fraud, military intimidation in explosive petition. Interesting times ahead. This one says, NPP to postpone January presidential primaries on Saturday. NPP to postpone January presidential primaries on Saturday. Lands Commission compromises property ownership. Witness admits in Kumasi court. Lands Commission compromises property ownership. Witness admits in Kumasi court. Baba Sam sues New Crusading Guide and others for defamation, cites violation of child's rights. Baba Sam sues New Crusading Guide and others for defamation, cites violation of child rights. And then you have VAG refutes corruption claims against Captain Bendua. VAG refutes corruption claims against Captain Bendua. Let me now take you to the new publisher. The new publisher says, buy your own fuel. Mahama orders all ministers and appointees. That's all, straight up. Buy your own fuel, that's all. But you see, maybe they should decommission the 2 depots, no? You understand? Where the government appointees have been going for fuel. That shows a bit more commitment. They should decommission the depots, especially the one at the Jubilee House and the one at the castle. Decommission it, then we know that no one is going for any free fuel. You get it? All right, so buy your own fuel. All appointees, buy your own fuel. All right. No bail, Agrada sent back to jail. No bail, Agrada sent back to jail. And it's, you see, interestingly, whether it's deliberate or not, there's diversionary tactics in every administration. Today, that's the 1 cedi fuel levy is coming into effect. Government has directed that all appointees should buy their own fuel. Just think about it. NDC sacks over 1,000 security service recruits. We'll look at this tomorrow morning. It's quite important that people without zero qualification, people who have not even sat in a classroom before, found their way into our security services. Well, this government has done an audit and over 1,000 people have been sacked. If we're going to entrust our security into the hands of unqualified people, then we should know we're heading for doom. Tomorrow we'll look at it. We'll do a feature on it tomorrow morning. All right. So from the new publisher, I'll take you to the Ghanaian publisher. The front page says, Iyoko probes Mencom Adamu's chiefs over miners' petition. Mencom here is the Minerals Commission, and Adamu's resources, and is referencing the heads of these 2 organizations or institutions, if you like. Same story that has been running through the front pages of almost all the stories. Akufo-Addo denies NPP Congress interference. Then you have Mahama's D-levy takes off today. That's the 1 cedi Dumsor levy has become known. Ghana Link slams false reports on KIA scanners. That's the front page of the Ghanaian publisher. Real quickly, I'll take you to the Inquisitor. Ramadan Rice case. 4 granted bail. They may only travel with court's permission. Then you have KIA scanners fully functional. Okay, we've seen that. TCDA board inaugurated. NPA judiciary team up to fight petroleum sector crimes. And then you have Baba Sam sues crusading guide. That's the Inquisitor. The Informer says, Akwetia by-election, Interior Minister warns troublemakers. Go, sin no more. That's MPP pardons Equia-Friye. Okay. Ramadan Rice saga, 4 accused granted 800,000 cedis bail. In some politics, conference will proceed. NEC declares after considering petitions. That's in reference to the National Annual Delegates Conference for the New Patriotic Party, NPP. Punish political galamsey kingpins. Coalition tells government. Let's do some business news now. I'll take you to the BNFT, Business and Financial Times. Dual track model best for supervising virtual assets. That's Dr. Etu Ahene speaking there, and he's made some calls for principles and risk-based approach to regulate crypto market as August 15 registration deadline looms. On the Forex market, reinvest FX earnings locally to sustain CD gains, governor to businesses. Then you have ADB MD Lords Feed Ghana initiative, Capital Bank collapse, Atuesi not guilty. That's John Appiah speaking. And then you have government to review IPP's agreement. That's the front page of the Business and the Financial Times. I'll take you online. Let's see what's happening on channel1news.com. Let's see. Channel1news.com says, Galamsey, AG directs Iyoko to investigate Abanga and Yamin. We understand the Attorney General has instructed Iyoko to commence investigations into Joseph Yamin and Abanga. So that's the story there. AG directs Iyoko to investigate Abanga and Yamin. Then you have fuel ban. We support what benefits the nation. That's Hannah Bisu speaking there. She sat with Umaru Sanda Amadu on the face-to-face show here on Channel 1 TV last night. I won't waste my emotions on Howard Kumsen. Hannah Bisu again, also from same interview. Government revises Binduri curfew, imposes total ban on arms and smokes. 3 fire engines deployed to contain Medina Reeds Junction blaze. That's according to the Ghana National Fire Service, GNFS. On the education front, NAGRAT backs final licensure exams directive. NAGRAT, that's the National Association of Graduate Teachers, backs final licensure exams directive. In some politics, Ernest Kumi's wife not running for Akwatia seat. That was attributed to the Eastern Regional NPP. Ernest Kumi's wife not running for Akwatia seat. Galamsey devastation, a national emergency. That's attributed to His Excellency, the President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama. He says Galamsey devastation, a national emergency. Well, the stakeholders have been calling on you to declare a state of emergency. So if you consider this a national emergency, please do as you promised. Registration alone not enough. Mining equipment must be tracked. Registration alone not enough. Mining equipment must be tracked. This follows a directive by the Minister for the Interior that all mining equipment should be registered by August 1. Fuel allowance ban must be codified into law. That's Franklin Kujo, President of Imani Africa, speaking there. All right, let me take you to citynewsroom.com. But this final one says Ashaiman Akosombo Road contractors to face sanctions over poor maintenance. That's Kwame Governs Agbuja, the Minister for Roads, speaking there. Yesterday, he went on a tour of some roads within the country. And these are some of the stories, of course, churned out from that particular tour. All right, let's jump to citynewsroom.com. Investigator Banga and Yamin over alleged Galamsey activities. AG directs Iyoko. Investigator Abanga Yamin over alleged Galamsey activities. AG directs Iyoko. Rename KIA after Kwame Nkrumah. Vitus Azim tells government. KIA as the Kotoka International Airport. Vitus Azim, anti-graft campaigner, is calling on the government to rename the Kotoka International Airport after Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. COPEC predicts 6-9% hike in petrol and diesel prices. COPEC predicts 6-9% hike in petrol and diesel prices. Well, there's a 1 cedi levy on petroleum products, and so it is quite expected. Boko crisis will resign if you don't resolve conflict. Kusol NDC executives to government will resign if you don't resolve crisis. 1 Ghana cedi energy sector levy takes effect today. NDC didn't bully its way to victory in Ablekuma North. Hannah Bisu Kote speaking there. All right, so jump online, citynewsroom.com as well as channel1news.com, and you can get the details of these stories and several others, of course, plus the updates. But go onto the Google Play Store and download the Channel One News app for real-time, current, and updated news. Relevant news always. This is Breakfast Daily here on Channel One TV. I am Nana Tufo Boateng. Stay with us. We'll be right back with the news review segment.
Let's get into the world of sports like never before.
You know how we do it on Fridays.
Join us every Friday at 7 p.m. on 97.3 City FM for Sports Panorama, your ultimate destination for all things sports.
One of the biggest scandals in this country's history. You can't spend 250 million USD and come out with that.
From the thrill of association football to the excitement of basketball, tennis, athletics, and even emerging sports, we cover it all. Whether it's the Premier League or the latest NBA showdown, we bring you the stories behind the stars.
Getting an opportunity to become a national team coach, you should understand the politics around football.
And don't miss the prayer of the rabbi.
Joe was Zabal.
How Zabal there?
Zabal one chaboke walako.
We're not just about the games, we're about the community.
If you are going to be given this kind of treatment, then you need to be that guy. When I look at him play, he is not it.
Or when it's time for Don't Call Me.
Moria picking.
Join the conversation as we connect with fans across the country and beyond. What's the latest updates? Send us your thoughts and we'll feature your comments live on air. And remember, we like to hear your predictions for matches and your thoughts in general. Think you know who's going to win? Let us know.
Big shout outs to my YouTube people.
Tune in every Friday at 7 p.m. only on 97.3 City FM. Sports Panorama, where sports come alive.
Minke man bi moni nya Kofi Adam no mai kami. Matwale. Man ke la ke no ya ne. Meneke. Fe won sha ko ba club me feke jeje. Ni wo hia ka wo she. Ye Yesu gba mi. Amen.
Sports Panorama, your weekly sports fix. Don't miss out on the action. Sports Panorama. Catch the excitement every Friday.
No matter how far you run away, you always come back to where you started.
Tortured, mutilated, fingers cut off.
I'll lend you the money. My boss believes in giving players another chance.
You don't know what to do if you don't have the money to pay back. Come and listen to me.
Sir, it's done. Good. 1 week. That's all you got to pay up.
You've been gambling.
Unfortunately, we're still chasing shadows. He's clearing the board to make way for something bigger.
How could you do this to us, God?
Who's there?
I can fix this.
Curious about what's happening beyond your borders? Beyond Borders takes you there. Every Wednesday at 7 p.m., join Caleb Kudo as he explores the stories that shape our world, connecting you with Ghanaians in other cultures and seeing the world through their eyes.
So if you learn to one thing, you leave your shoes outside. Wow.
Tuesday, you know, I won't go to Ghana dressed in a Lacoste.
As director of operations.
From international politics to the human stories that define nations, Beyond Borders brings you a fresh perspective of Ghanaians around the world, one conversation at a time. Beyond Borders with Caleb Kuda airs Wednesdays at 7 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
Hello, grateful that you could join us. This is Breakfast Daily live on Channel 1 TV. I am Nana Tufo Boate. It's time now for the news review segment, and there's a lot happening, okay? Take the issue of Galamsey, for example. The government says that all mining equipment should be registered by close of August 1, 2025. It's directed the DVLA and the Security Service to begin an implementation of confiscating mining equipment that have not been duly registered by close of August 1. That's on one front. The Attorney General is asking that IOCO commences investigations into two of the NDC's executives, that's Joseph Yamin and Abanga, also in respect to the issue of illegal mining. A businessman has petitioned IOCO to investigate the boss of the Minerals Commission as well as the chief of Adamus Resources over a $100,000 mining deal. All these going on in the issue or the space of our extractives. But on the economic front, the 1 CD fuel levy takes effect today. If you spin it, the government has cancelled fuel allowance and free fuel for its appointees. What does this mean for the local economy? What does this mean for you and I, the consuming public? We'll be getting into the conversations on some of these issues to bring you different perspectives regarding these matters. Let me introduce Engineer Koside. They say good morning to him. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning.
It's always good to have you.
Good to see you too.
Great. So let's begin with the issue of the cancellation of fuel allowances. Yesterday, the communication came out. John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, has directed that all appointees will henceforth not receive fuel allowances, or there won't be any allocation of fuel to any appointees. This obviously is expected to be a cost-cutting measure. Your take? What's the timing first, and then, of course, the effect thereof on the economy?
Okay. The timing is one where we tend to see our governments coming up with something that they think the public will revolt against. And then they try and put in something else to divert attention. And I think those are things that we as citizens have become aware of. Our governments have become almost trying to play a trick on us all the time. An issue comes up, instead of resolving, then they find another issue to throw up a crisis and to throw up a public uproar so that attention is diverted. And I think that doesn't help in governance. We need to be sincere in the process of governance. But in terms of the effect, I think that any attempt to improve government's performance in terms of how much money they spend is good effort.
Yeah.
No matter how small it is, I think it is a good effort. And I think we need to encourage such conduct. But another issue was raised about the fuel depots that are kept at the various strategic places where people go in regularly to get fuel. How is it going to be controlled? Because are these government functionaries who are no longer getting allowances going to go there and take fuel? So I think they need to look at a comprehensive way of controlling the whole process and manage and say, look, if you are going to benefit from a fuel, any fuel, it's maybe 300 liters every month or 200 liters, so that it's fixed. I mean, it should be well managed. But this uncontrolled system where people just go in every day and take any amount of fuel they want and move on is not helpful. We need to see government put in place controls to curb expenditure. But some have also argued that they should scrap all of the fuel depots altogether. And I said, no, I disagree with that, because I think that it's important that we also understand government architecture. Government needs to ensure that they have fuel, especially to put in the vehicles that are for protocol, president's vehicles, other vehicles. And such fuel, you must ensure that it is not contaminated.
Right.
You must ensure that there are security issues. You don't want a president's vehicle to be fueled and then he's driving and then it stops because the fuel is contaminated. So we need to understand it in that form, that there's a government architecture. You cannot just throw all that away. Ministers, all those people driving, you can't just expect that their fuel, they can take fuel from Shell, Total, or any of the other commercial filling stations. Their fuel requirements need to be controlled, but it needs to be secured as well. So I disagree with those who may say, look, let's scrap all of that. The issue is that we need to put in controls to ensure that the cost issues are properly addressed.
Well, will it make any difference if we are given, say, a breakdown of how many appointees hitherto were receiving this free fuel, how much it has been costing us over the years, and what it will be saving us now?
So this morning I heard some news about an estimated 100 and something million or something million cedis will be saved. But again, we need to have the breakdown.
Exactly.
So that we as citizens can say, oh, it makes sense. This is what is going to come. But simply throw out a figure without numbers, like you are saying, how much was the person entitled to, doesn't really help us do any effective analysis.
Very well. Let's say good morning to Dennis Miracles Abuaje, aides to Dr. Mahamudu Baumia. Dennis, it's good to see that you're okay.
I'm alive.
We're discussing the cancellation of the fuel allowance, but I need to find out something from you.
Yeah.
How did you do it?
Do what?
On Friday, you vanished. You did not run. You vanished.
I think it was Jude. It was Jude who created that scenario. Look at him. I didn't vanish.
That is, you vanished.
So you see where I was standing with Jude. That's exactly where we were having the conversation.
Right.
Then the NDC hoodlums got onto the street. Now what happened was that when they approached the gates, which is right where we're standing, there were about 30 policemen in front of that gate. They went straight to the police. And then the first gentleman who got to the gate and was going to be questioned by the police actually hit the chest of the policeman. And they sat down. Then they opened up. But we realized that at this time, the camera had moved from Jude and I. And was more like looking at these guys, you know, shooting these guys who were coming in. So there was a policeman. Honestly, I don't know his name. He grabbed me and said, Miracles, come this way. And then right where we're standing, there's a billboard that goes all the way from the top to the ground. And then there were some cars parked there. And you see my height, you know, that's the advantage. You know, some of the advantages. I could fit in any space. Right. So the policeman actually pushed me to that side. Fortunately, the Joy News reporter was seated on the wall, and then the cameraman was also having his camera on the wall. So I used them as a shield, and then I was there. So Jude didn't know where I was. Right. He just didn't know where I was standing at that point.
He was probably concerned because he was with you.
So you see, there's a white pickup that somebody is seated on, right in front of that white pickup. That is where I was. Okay. You know, so it was very, very difficult for you to spot me because there's a billboard that is also, you know, covering up and shading. I mean, it was important that, and I thank this policeman and this the Joy News guys because there was no room to run. If I'd attempted to run, I'd rather be spotted and be made out easily, and so I had to find a place to, and I stayed there for a while. In fact, for a very long while. Unfortunately, when they finished the whole attack, they didn't move away. They stayed there for hours. So at some point, I found a way to move into my car, and then I left. It's a very unfortunate situation. I am completely against violence in any form. I am of the view that bullets know no political colors. The easiest thing to do is to cause chaos at a polling station. It's so easy. I mean, I saw them beating the deputy national organizer of the MPP, and I'm like, this is not courage. This is not strength. If you have 10 macho men stamping on one individual, I mean, maybe all of you should step aside and give you 1-to-1. Then we say you're a macho man. But if you have 10 macho men and you come at one person and you beat him up, that is not strength. And it's something that we should all call out and condemn. That's why I'm really sad that it's been how many days? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. 6 days. 6 days. And the president is here to make a simple comment on this. Just a simple comment. I mean, just make a simple tweet. Journalists were beaten all over the place. Forget about the politicians who were beaten. There were a lot of ordinary people. You saw a lady that was being slapped. You saw a lady that was being slapped and molested. She's an ordinary citizen of the community. Some people who were standing by had their eyes swollen and all of that. And you have the president completely, you know, as if he doesn't live in the country. He doesn't know what's going on.
He was out of the country when it happened.
But he's been touring.
The vice has spoken to the matter.
Tweets. You don't need to be in Ghana to get internet to tweet. You don't need to be in Ghana to get internet to make a Facebook post. You know, those things are just courteous things to do to your people. They are very simple things to do to your people. And if the president is listening, I'll urge him to do it. It's not too late. It will be a blot on his conscience if he doesn't do it. Because I will not stop talking about it. I insist. Hiring hoodlums is the easiest thing any political party can do. It's so easy. All I need to do is to pick 10 people, give them money, and I say, follow me. And I say, when you get there, beat this guy. It's not a difficult thing. You understand? Anybody can be beaten, including the president himself. Because if you have 20 policemen following you, or whatever, military men following you, and somebody hires 60, all they need to do is to take them one-on-one, and then there will be 20 who will still have access to you. And so it's not something that we need to encourage. We need to fight this till we have a situation where when we get to the polling station, everybody votes and goes home. And let me put it on record. I am not one of those people that will be accused of, when it happened in the past in Ayawaso West, what did you say? I condemned it. In Ayawaso West, I was a polling agent around the Golf House area. When this matter happened, I spoke against it. Ayawaso West is not the only bloodshed elections we've had. Before Ayawaso West, there was Treponi, there was Talensi, there was Etiwa, there was Akwetia. So when I hear people say Ayawaso West happened, and so we did Ablikuma North and it's 1-1. No, it means that NDC owes us 3. If that is what they are going to say, that Ablikuma North is a retaliation for Ayawaso West, then they owe us 3. Because they did it to us at Talensi, they did it to us at Cheponi, they did it to us at Etiwa, they did it to us at Akwetia. You understand? And so they probably even owe us more. It was Etiwa. That was when the MPP for the first time decided that enough is enough. We are going to protect ourselves. And that is when you remember the famous Yechomo Bibi Kakrebi. Since Etiwa, no political party has been able to mobilize strength at the polling station like we did. And then in 2019, the president and the party decided that Ekufuado was like, no, we cannot continue this way. The NDC were being violent against us, and that's why we put ourselves together in that manner. But it's time to disband. We had 10 times the strength the NDC or any political party had when it comes to the things they did at Ablikuma, but we dismantled it. And so I insist, and I continue to say it, the boys are known, their faces are out there, they work within government institutions, some are working in the DVLA and other places. If the president and the police especially, you should be ashamed of yourself that you have 60 policemen at a polling station and you stood there for one woman to be beaten in that manner. You should be ashamed. And so what I expect the police to do is not to release a very mild statement and say, we are going to investigate. This is not an issue of investigation. The boys are on camera. In fact, some of them are on Facebook justifying what they did and showing how strong they are. And you're telling me you're investigating. And it's been 6 days, no arrest. The only thing that will be left for the MPP to do is to set up the Self-Protection Committee on Saturday. And I am going to insist. You know, Saturday is a conference for reforms. I will raise my hands and I would recommend that whilst we have a legal committee, elections committee, we need a self-protection committee. Because you see, if the MPP doesn't do that, I would not go out there to any police station.
What would be the nature of this committee?
The nature of this committee will be that if we find ourselves in a situation where, like I was talking to Jude, I should have like 10, 20 people from the MPP standing in to protect me, so that when something like this happens, they will grab me and put me into safety. Because the police cannot do it for me. Because I have 30 policemen behind me. 30. And you watch the video carefully, you realize that. And I mean, let's commend Jude and the crew. They basically got everything from beginning to end. At some point, you could see 10 policemen with their hands behind their backs, some in their pockets, standing idle. How am I supposed to feel safe in a country like that? So on Saturday, if between now and Saturday the Ghana police and the president do not act, I would lift my hands at the conference and I am going to recommend that we have a self-protection committee whose responsibility will be to ensure that MPP functionaries and other citizens who go to the polling station to vote would have protection. If you bring 40 men and we also have 40 men, there will be peace. I actually think so. Because when you have a gun to my head and I have a gun to your head, nobody will shoot.
Very well. Fuel allowance. Government appointees will no longer receive fuel allowance or allocations for fuel. What do you make of it?
You see, I have always sat here in this room and told you about how much of a scam this government is. PR, setters. I have been in government. I have been a municipal chief executive. I've been a presidential staffer. I have been executive secretary to the Interministerial Coordinating Committee on Decentralization. I have operated in government. So you see, when you are given an appointment, like my appointment letter, whether at the time I was MC or at the time I was presidential staffer, your conditions are outlined in your appointment letter. So I'd use mine. I don't remember the exact figures, but let me use mine. It is indicated that you will be entitled to a chauffeur-driven vehicle with 80 or 120 liters of fuel per week. Okay. So it's stated. So everybody has that in their letter. I mean, and when I say everybody,
it's part of the conditions of service.
For those who qualify. Not every political appointee has that.
Right.
Not every political appointee has that. But for the political appointees who have that, like I did, it's indicated there. But the NDC, no. There is nobody with that condition stated that actually receives it.
Okay.
Nobody actually is paid that so-called fuel allowance, which is indicated there. In the appointment letter, based on your category, is also housing allowance, where it says that you'll be given an official accommodation. In lieu of that, you'll be paid, let's say, 20% of your salary.
Right.
So if your salary is 10,000 and you are not living in a government accommodation, you'll be given 2,000 cedis in addition to your 10,000. So all these conditions are stated. So I can show you some of the paying slips. You'd realize that on your paying slip, it is captured there and then when you are being paid, the 2,000 or the 3,000 or the 4,000 of your housing allowance is added, but the fuel allowance is never ever added to any of these things. So this is what happens. And I want us to separate the issues. They are all not the same. When the government says political appointees, political appointees is not only those who are at the Jubilee House.
Right.
The chief executive officer of GMPC is a political appointee. Yeah. The minister is a political appointee. There are even technical advisors to the ministers who are political appointees. So the government is saying that all these category of people who qualify for chauffeur-driven vehicles and certain amount of liters of fuel are no longer going to receive it. I am stating it here again that as a matter of fact and record, nobody with that on their paying slip actually receives that. What happens is that for the presidency, they will give you a book. They will give you a book at the presidency. Then you go to the depot to go and draw on that fuel, and then you record it in the book at the presidency. So that's what happens at the Jubilee House.
Right.
And there are depots across the country. So it depends on where they are. And that is why when the president this morning moves from the Jubilee House to go and do some work at Weja, the presidential staffers, the aides, Joyce Bawa Mokhtari and co who follow, that's the sort of food, the kind of fuel they are using to follow the president. That fuel they have in their vehicle, which they've gone to draw on, that's what they will use to follow the president. You understand?
Right.
So if you say you have cancelled Joyce Bawa Mokhtari's fuel allowance, that's why people are saying that you are misleading us. Because Joyce Bawa Mokhtari this morning, as a senior presidential advisor, when the president drives, would have to drive. And there will be fuel in her car. That fuel is not going to be paid for by Joyce Bawa Mokhtari and from her pocket. It is going to be fuel that she's drawn on. And that is the fuel that she's entitled to work. So which one have you cancelled? So that's for the presidency. Now, for the ministers and the state institutions, this morning, Honorable Haruna Idrisu wants to move from the Ministry for Education and go and have a meeting at UPSA with the Vice Chancellor. Honorable Haruna Idrisu has been given a chauffeur-driven vehicle. That chauffeur-driven vehicle that she's going to move from the Ministry of Education to UPSA is going to be fueled by government.
But this is what the government says it is cancelled.
No, you can't cancel it.
How so?
You can't. If you cancel it, it means that when the president moves today from Jubilee House to Weja, Joyce Bawa Mokhtari cannot follow him unless Joyce Bawa Mokhtari decides to buy the fuel with her pocket money. So you can't cancel that. Let's put on record, you cannot cancel that. Because
will she be traveling in her own vehicle or in a vehicle as part of the presidential
fleet? That vehicle is what has been given to her as a chauffeur-driven vehicle. Do you understand?
Right.
The chauffeur-driven vehicle is the official vehicle that you are working with. And that is what this morning, when the president moves, you move with. So this morning, whether we all like it or not, in spite of this sham of a look-alike, like a cost cutting, Mokhtari Bawa Joyce would draw on fuel today
for official duties.
But the fuel that was given to us, it was not used for tourism purposes. The fuel you say you are canceled, that one is not to go to Safari Valley to go and chill. No. That's why I gave you the scenario that this morning, the Minister for Education would leave Ministry of Education and go to Wisconsin to go and inspect the school and see how they are doing. He's going to draw on fuel. Yesterday I was listening to from the institution, from the Ministry of Education. So when you look at the Ministry of Education budget, they have goods and services, which the Ministry of Finance releases to the ministry. So this is what happens. Maybe Friday or Saturday, the ministry would raise a memo, fuel for the week for the minister. Okay?
Yeah.
That fuel is given to the minister in so many forms, sometimes in the form of fuel coupons and all of that, for those outside the presidency. Now, that is what they will be drawing on to move. So today he's going to Wisconsin, he's going to Kufudia Polytechnic and all of that. You are saying you've cancelled it. If you have cancelled it, how is he going to move? And I'm saying you haven't cancelled it. Because I listened to Shamima, and Shamima makes a very important point this year. She says they are now going to control the utilization of the fuel. It means that if you are going to travel from the Ministry of Education to Wisconsin, you raise a memo.
Yeah.
I'm going to Ministry of Education. I'm going to the Wisconsin, so I'm requesting for fuel. They give to him, right? When he comes back, he's exhausted that kilometer of travel of official work. He's going to Accra Polytechnic. He will raise a memo.
Right.
You give him fuel. That is what I am saying. That you haven't cancelled that because that is what they need to perform their official duties. And that is what everybody has been drawing on. Nobody in government, I was in government, I have everything here. Nobody in government has ever been given fuel for luxury. The fuel is for your official duties because it is run into your official vehicle. So when I wake up in the morning and I have to travel to maybe a district assembly, I move and I go to the district assembly. Why? Because I have been given my fuel for the week. So if you say you have cancelled it, what really have you cancelled? And me, I don't want us to trivialize it and debate it and make it look like. I think government needs to be a bit sincere and honest with us. If it is not for a diversionary purposes, what you do is this. You tell the people that this is the category of fueling I am speaking of. This is how much currently it costs us. Based on how much it costs us currently, we are going to cancel it. If we cancel it, this is the repercussion, or this is what will be done in replacement of it. And this is how much it will save the country. But clearly, and I can tell you without any doubt, I will tell you they can jump around it, run under it, do whatever they want to do. Nobody has cancelled any fuel allowance for anybody because the fuel allowance is for official duty purposes. And these official duties that are going to be executed are still going to be drawing on fuel from the government.
Very well. Hamza Suhini, good morning. Good to have you.
Good morning, Nana.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
You're in white.
I know, right?
Before we get into the fuel matter, I saw you at Ablekuma North, so I'll give you some 2 minutes to also speak to the issues of Ablekuma North. You were there. Dennis was also there. Either of you could have been hurt in what happened there.
No. So, they brought good morning to you, and of course,
responsibility
they brought it
my senior comrade, and also my brother, Dennis Miracles Abuaji, and of course our cherished viewers out there. There's always a tendency to downplay the role of your production team, so I say good morning to them as well. You see, Nana, it was a good day for us because at the end of the day, the NDC, like we had predicted, emerged victorious in relation to that particular rerun. And so it was kind of exciting, but that notwithstanding, I have always maintained that any form of violence is condemnable. But we can't also pretend that we are nurturing a democracy, and from time to time, many of these things are likely to occur as we embark on this journey. And so sometimes focus should be on the nature of the violence that have occurred. And I have argued since the Ablekuma North run that no matter how discomforting, because violence in any form ought to be condemned, but no matter how discomforting that is, in one way or the other, we should also pat ourselves on the back as a republic. Because guided by the experiences of the likes of Etiwa, where Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo had said that they had showed the NDC small. And in the not too distant past, Techiman, where state-sponsored vigilantes were used under the guise of the military to kill innocent citizens of this republic. Then I can't also forget the Ayawaso West Wargan, where a member of parliament was brutally assaulted. Guns were fired on the event ground. People were maimed by state-sponsored attacks of the New Patriotic Party. We did not see anything in that fashion in relation to the Ablekuma North rerun, regardless of the violence that was recorded. It was manageable, though unacceptable. So there's progress. We are becoming aware of the need for us to be sensitive when it comes to the protection of our democracy and not to allow our partisanship to cloud our activities, especially when it comes to the survival of our democracy. And for us, that is a commitment. And I'm happy to announce also that the police CID has already commenced investigations into the Ablekuma North issue. And we should all be interested in the kind of work they will do. We must hold them to tax. And this also adds to the previous letter. Remember, that was written during the, I think somewhere January or so, February, where His Excellency President Mahama, through his executive secretary, directed the CID to go into the associated deaths when it comes to our electoral handling process in this country. So it is commendable. But I saw my brother there, and so I was shocked to hear him say that he had to run for his life because hundreds of people were chasing him. I remember clearly I was watching his interview on the grounds, and he was with Jude.
Yeah.
And so I was beginning to wonder, where is this coming from? My brother,
what
this
exactly
kind of propaganda, yes, this kind of propaganda is not helpful. No, you are a gentleman. Nobody in the NDC would harm you.
I'm minding my business.
No, you see that? No. But it's true. Nobody in there, nobody in the NDC is interested in harming Dennis. He's a good. Oh, he's a gentleman. I think that we like him as he is, and I'm sure that we even like him more than his own party people. So he should be rest assured that we are not interested.
Should you consider joining him?
Of course, he would be welcome. Why not? Because we believe that the National Democratic Congress has that broader umbrella to be able to accommodate him. But I can assure him that this politics of sensationalism will not help. And you see, my brother Miracles should know that many of us, there are those who look up to us to change the political terrain with truth and integrity. And so in doing so, not just our words, our actions must manifest same. Because it has serious implications, not just on our local image, but international as well. So we should not always be interested in heightening the political temperature, even when there is no grounds, or there are no grounds for us to do so.
Right.
So I know that he said that out of political sensationalism. He was not under threat.
Are you inviting me to respond to
that? Yes,
no.
When you said that you were under attack, 100 people were...
What is he talking about? you see, the aggressor doesn't feel the pain or the victim.
No, you were not attacked. You were not under threat.
Haven't you watched the video?
Nobody chased.
Haven't you watched the video? No, wait. Haven't you watched the video? Everybody has seen the thing.
And they were chasing you.
Why are you people like this? Why?
No, were they chasing you?
Yes.
Where? Which video?
Why are you people like this?
I beg you play the video.
Why are you people like this?
Video where you are being chased.
The guys who came to the police station.
Let them play. You like videos.
The guys who came to the police station. Okay.
No, Dennis, stop that. Let them play the video. But you are with Channel 1
and you. Instead of sympathizing with us, you are thinking it's okay.
No, play the video. Where you are being chased. Where were you being chased?
It's okay, guys. Thank you.
I had to hide.
Thank you. Hamza.
Hide from who? I had to hide.
But you just said that you had to run for your life. Did you run for your life?
Have I said that? I said I had to hide.
Dennis, did point for me.
No, but I'm hurt.
Point for me.
I am very, very hurt.
I'm cautioning you against this politics of sensationalism. Where did you go to? What did you
guys, thank you.
You know we like you. We don't do anything to you.
I haven't even slept for the past 5 years.
He's giving you assurances that he won't hurt you.
Because of the trauma.
He's giving you assurances that he won't hurt you.
You see, my brother likes acting just like himself. So let's allow him to act.
Some of them, they are like...
Thank you.
In the words of his voice, you and I know that he's interested in playing the sensationalism bit of it, and he's acting.
No, is that what you are calling Ablekuma?
He was not under threat.
You are calling Ablekuma.
Now to the substantive issue. No, you are.
Oh, Hamza, let's move on to the sensationalism.
No, what exactly have this subject? Because you see, it borders on our integrity and credibility and the ability of people to believe what we say.
That's right. People were watching the TV at the time.
Dennis, watching it,
and you think it's sensationalism?
What happened to
Dennis?
When your guy,
you were called for the sake of media coverage here. Let's move on.
Your guy Tijani who works at
Dennis, thank you.
The guy who is like 20. That guy can hold me like this. Can hold me like this and throw me.
He hold you.
But because of the opportunity I had to go and hide.
My brother likes
talk to me about the cancellation of the fuel allowance.
You see,
what exactly have you cancelled? Operational fuel or what? The one on the pay slips. What exactly have we cancelled? Give us an explanation.
There's on the issue of fuel allowances. You see, the NPP is an interesting party, and for me, when I was listening to Miracles, I was like, what is happening in this country, especially with the New Patriotic Party. When this government took a decision to reduce the number of ministers, they accused us of embarking on a settings agenda. And according to them, it had no serious implication on the national purse. Today, even prior to yesterday, the government again announced the scrapping of levy and other associated taxes. They branded us just for the cameras and settings. when the government decided to embark on its fight against Galamsey, with every government official being active in that fight, the same MPP accused the government of engaging in settings. But you and I know that undoubtedly the decision of the government to review taxes and also the decision of the government to reduce the number of ministers undoubtedly has a bearing on our management of the public purse prudently, because it simply means that hitherto the amount of money we used to invest in the name of paying for the allowances and salaries of public services have come down. That is not in question.
Yeah.
Today, in line with one of our campaign promises, the government again has decided to do away with allocations in terms of fuel allowances that appointees draw. And that one too is settings. We shouldn't commend the government for that. The government is engaged in another usual politics of settings. What kind of politics did they play that led them to this position they find themselves? They should be asking themselves. So the NDC is not operating using the rule book of the New Patriotic Party that subjected them to that humiliating defeat in the last election.
Yeah.
We know what the good people of this country expect, and we are responding to their expectations. If you continue to disregard and disrespect the demands of the Ghanaian people by referring to it as settings, that is yours to carry. But this government will not budge in terms of our willingness to remain true to the demands of the Ghanaian people. This is not the first time that Ghanaians have complained about the huge cost associated with fuel allowances to our political appointees. Why is it that in power, they did not respond to that call? Or no attempt was made by them to respond to that call. The attempt by this administration to respond to that call in itself demonstrates respect to the good people of this country. That ought to be commended. So the challenge now is for successive governments to be able to perfect the system and ensure that this becomes a system that we can all be proud of. And so when we say we are taking allowances, if you take their salaries, a chunk of these political appointees, in one way or the other, are paid monthly fuel allowances as part of their monthly salaries.
No, it's false. It's false. It's not true.
I said
no,
men.
it's not true.
Please,
no, none.
No.
It's not
Are
true.
you the host?
It's not true.
So what,
Are you the host?
Dennis, you are saying it's not true because during your time, the payments never came.
Okay, so maybe there's. Okay, that's
So you see, sometimes
perhaps-
it's
so maybe
difficult
there's.
to understand.
Right. You don't create a problem and fix
No,
it
wait.
until you upload it.
Very well. You
Are
allow-
the host?
allowing to
You don't like this, and if I do
Allowing
this to you,
to
don't
I
complain.
apologize.
If I do it to you,
I
don't
apologize.
complain.
I
You
apologize.
see, first of all, it is not true. Go and take. We're in this country. When a young lady appointed by Nanado to head, what's the name of the Ghana State Insurance Company?
SIC.
SIC. Did you see her entitlements? Didn't you see fuel? Was she appointed by this government? So where is this lie coming from? That as part of their benefits, they are not entitled to fuel. Their
He
salaries.
did mention that it's in the conditions of service.
But what am
That
I
it was
talking
never
about? I'm
paid.
talking about their entitlements, their salaries.
Yeah.
So where is that coming from? What kind of lies do we take pride in peddling? So this has been the norm. Many of them are entitled to it. And so if government takes a decision that it is not going to pay these allowances, why are you seeking to create an impression as though that government is deceiving the people? That's one. Because you did it under you. Secondly, if you go to many state agencies, they have a fuel impress. So there's the tendency for appointees who benefit in one way or the other in terms of fuel allowances. Remember that if you are a member of parliament, I don't know how they handled it, but you either elect to still be on your salaries as a member of parliament or accept one if you are also a minister of state. And if you look at the conditions of service of members of parliament as part of their monthly emoluments, a component is calculated for their fuel. Is that not the case? So if you are appointed as a minister of state, and you are benefiting from those as a minister, yet still the ministry in which you preside over also has an impress dedicated to the civil service for fuel purposes. At the Ministry of Roads and Highways, one of the challenges we faced in 2016 was because of the high cost of fuel impress at that ministry before 2016 rather. So now the civil servants themselves, out of the impress created for them, will make an allocation to the ministers and deputy ministers, despite the fact that in terms of their salaries, there's already an inbuilt of fuel.
So there's a component in the salary.
If you remember, you see.
No, but Hamza, why are you doing this? This is for public record. I'm sorry if I can get
No, don't do this.
Okay,
don't do
then hold on. When I come to you, then
I'm just giving you an example of the cost component of the MPs.
I get it.
Right.
Are they not entitled to fuel as part of their cost build-up of salaries? Are they not those appointed as ministers and deputy ministers in most cases per the constitutional injunction? That is one aspect of it. So I'm telling you that if you take all that into consideration, such people who emanate from parliament and elect maybe to be still on their parliamentary emoluments would be getting double in terms of fuel allocations.
Right.
Because they can also dwell on the ministry's impress meant for the running of the ministries for the ministers or deputy ministers. That's one aspect of it. He made references to the likes of Joyce Barr. What the presidency is simply saying is that, look, if you are an appointee and you are paid, just like every civil servant in this country, find a way of using your salary to cater for your transportation when it comes to the fuel cost.
Which of your transportations? Transportation to do official work?
But what are we talking about? If it is about private work, government already doesn't pay for private work of those people, of appointees.
So in this case, the government is asking
fuel,
of its appointees to sacrifice.
No, not necessarily sacrifice. The government is cutting waste because government considers it waste. You are paying civil servants who drive from home to their offices a monthly salary. They find ways of catering with that meager salaries that they are entitled to when it comes to their transportation cost. As a political appointee who probably will even receive more in terms of salaries, find a way of managing your fuel demands too. Is that too difficult to ask?
So if we have to move from the ministry to say Elubo for
I was a special assistant at the Ministry of Roads and Highways. Indeed, the records will show, I never went for any fuel coupon. Even as a board member of Ghana Road Fund, I never went for it.
But was a component calculated in your salary?
Yes, because I could pay for it. I don't know at the time that whether it was part of my salary or not. That I must concede. Because I was not entitled to salary.
Right.
Mine was allowance.
Very well.
For being a board member.
Very well.
So, but I never went for it as a matter of principle. Because I thought I could afford it. So what the presidency is simply saying that, look, as part of your benefits, when it comes to the fuel cost, find a way of accommodating it. And it is not true that wherever His Excellency President Mahama goes, all those who work at the presidency go with him, or the likes of Joyce Barr go with him. So if you are making an example by saying that if the president is driving to Kasua today and Joyce Barr comes out, Joyce Barr would naturally benefit from the presidential pool.
I think that effectively what he's trying to say is that the team that follows the president along for his official duties will ultimately benefit from fuel from the presidential pool.
That is not accurate. And that's the point I'm making. I have followed a presidential convoy before. And my fuel was not sponsored by the presidency.
In your official capacity?
Yes, in 2016, in official capacity.
That's what?
As a staff of the Ministry of Roads and Highways. As a member, what's the name?
Member of the road fund.
Yes. It was not funded by. You understand? And I know, I have heard complaints, especially under His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, where even people who work at the presidency complain that they have not even been allocated state vehicles. And as we speak today, there are many presidential staffers who don't have presidential, who are not allocated state vehicles.
Maybe wrap up for me so I can come to engineer.
I can give you names of presidential staffers today who are not even allocated presidential vehicles. At the Flagstaff, at the Jubilee House, under President Mahama. So if President Mahama says that he is cutting out these allowances, your duty as an opposition party is to demand or follow through to ensure that he lives up to that promise and not to begin to speak down on the policy even before he takes flight.
It's a shame.
I would have been listening to my brother if he was able to let me understand that, look, President Mahama gave the announcement yesterday, and as of today, this is the amount of money that they have drawn as political appointees.
So we don't know how much it even cost.
You understand? And so that is another legitimate demand, in all honesty. Because I am also interested. I think that it is in the interest of this government. And unlike you, I concede. It is another legitimate demand. It is not enough for the presidency to announce. Yes, the presidency should announce.
That's what we're
yes, the presidency should announce the amounts that we used to spend on monthly basis when it comes to these fuel allowances.
The number of people
and so let us know exactly
how much they are entitled to.
Yes, and let us know the amount involved in terms of savings. As far as scrapping of this policy is concerned, it is important.
That's where the real effect will be.
And I fully agree with them. Because that is the essence of transparency. And that is what the National Democratic Congress and His Excellency John Dramani Mahama promised. And I can assure him that if he is actually living up to his dictates, to the true dictates of being in opposition, then he should be interested in following this policy through and policing it to ensure that His Excellency
There's no
policy.
They are insulting our intelligence. There's no policy.
Everything is settings to you.
Everything is settings. You know, my take on Ablekuma is just that I think that our political actors need to be very sincere with us as a people on all parts. But going beyond Ablekuma, what I suggest strongly is that we have another election coming up, which is going to be Akwetia. And I think that at this point in time, it is within the authority of NDC to offer an olive branch. Look, because if we continue in this way, this country is going to burn. Let's not kid ourselves. Let's not kid ourselves. Now people are targeting the political appointees themselves, government officials, because the people we are calling tags, they are human beings. They are our brothers and sisters. And Miracles is saying he wants 10 behind him. He should go and call his family members and pay them. Let's get real.
Oh, he said that.
Yeah, he wants 10 behind him when he's going. You see, we need to be careful.
Kind of politics,
we should be careful that the people we are alleging.
Please hold on. Be fair to me. What did I say?
You said that you want to.
No. I said that. No. Let me say it.
That he was going to suggest at the
committee. Because
if the police will not be able to protect them.
Exactly my point.
So he said, what do you want me to do? You want me to go to Ablekuma
No, I'm saying
without police protection and
go and call your family members. Go and call your family members.
Exactly. Those who are macho, it is the responsibility of the police to protect me. And if the police is refusing to do it, what do you want me to do?
I have nothing against it. All I'm saying is that it is important
as a former officer of the state.
Those you send to Ablekuma, those you send to Ablekuma, not are you not
of the state advocating for lawlessness?
Those you send to Ablekuma,
advocating for lawlessness.
Those you send to
I'm not sure your party will
be sent to Ablekuma. Let it be.
Those boys sent to Ablekuma, have you arrested them?
Dennis, let it go.
Unbelievable.
I will actually. So I think that the NDC must look at this issue very seriously and say this is the end of it.
Right.
We should see that the government puts in steps, sincere effort towards the Akwetia election.
They will not.
That this doesn't happen. You see, because when you talk to the NDC, they say, but it was done to us. When you talk to the MP, they say it was done to us. So it's like a vicious cycle that everybody says, let's continue with it. But I think that at this time, because the NDC is in power, they have the authorities to say, look, let's stop this. Let's end it here. Because I know that in an attempt to deal with even the people who were seen in Ablekuma North, there will be political fallouts within the NDC itself. And so they are being very careful. But I think that for Akwetia, they should go out there and say, look, the police are in full control.
That's it.
Anybody who comes there and misbehaves must be dealt with according to the law. And I think that this is the greatest opportunity that this government can offer all citizens in terms of the violence that keeps coming up in our electoral cycles. And I think that they should look at it. But on the issue of the allowance, I think that I'm getting confused by all that has happened around this table. Where we are saying that a government issues a letter to somebody with the terms and conditions of service and says you are entitled to a fuel allowance
and does not pay
it, then what kind of government are we running? I mean, let's be sincere.
then it means that our governments are simply playing on people's intelligence. How do you issue a letter to somebody and say you are entitled to fuel allowance, but you don't pay it, and the person also sits there and doesn't complain? Then it means that either the people themselves are finding ways to make up for that fuel allowance. I mean, clearly this is not sincere, and I think that we need to deal with that matter. So I think that there's a lot of clarity required on this issue of fuel allowance. Who and who are affected? Because you can't appoint a CEO to maybe even the SIC and say you are entitled to fuel allowance and not pay it. On what basis?
How is it going to work?
On what basis will you not pay it? So please, I think we need clarity on it, because there may be political appointees, but which political appointees are affected by this government directive?
Right.
There needs to be clarity, so that it doesn't come out that it's one of those things that the government is throwing out simply to get sympathy from the public and say, oh, we are making efforts at cost saving. I think the government should come out clearly who and who are affected. And if there are people who could possibly be getting double, benefiting from here and benefiting from here, there must be a clear stop line. Because we're in this country when we're told that some ministers were getting double salaries. That issue hasn't been resolved to date. I mean, we need to clear all these things so that governance can be seen as a process to elevate the life of everybody in this country.
Very well. Dennis, final take.
For me, I want us to deal with the issues. It's quite obvious that Hamza has no iota of idea how these things work. And I'd pardon him on that. He doesn't know. He doesn't understand it. I have the paying slips here. I have paying slips of members of parliament. I have paying slip of a minister of state. I have a paying slip of district chief executive. Like, I have them. Nobody receives fuel allowance as part of your salary. Nobody, they don't.
It's not calculated as a component.
No, what is done is that it is paid to you outside your
salary.
So for example,
my goodness,
if you pick a paying slip, you will see on my paying slip the 20% housing allowance.
Right.
That will be there. Then you have all the net effect, and then you get your net salary. Fuel is not part. Fuel is not part. The fuel is paid to you outside the salary that is paid you for you to do your work. You see, the bottom line of the conversation we are having is that, and he's being very disingenuous. They are misleading the public.
You think so?
Yesterday, the deputy spokesperson at the president, Shamima, was clear. She's even captured here on GBC. She said that, when it comes to the work, like he said that when the president is moving, you find a way to use your own car to move. It doesn't even make sense in the first place.
I didn't say your own car.
You understand? It doesn't, because nobody expecting, the president himself, even with this directive, doesn't expect that Joyce Bauer Mokhtari, who is moving with the president to a function, will use her own money to fuel her car. The president doesn't even expect her to do that. So if you come and say that on
What's
TV,
her own money?
You said you should use her salary. Is that not what you said?
But
that's what you said. That's what you said.
So, Hamza, you have your turn.
You understand? That's what you said. And I'm saying that
me.
we shouldn't do this to ourselves. We shouldn't. The 80 liters or 120 liters that is captured as part of Joyce Bauer Mokhtari's conditions of service, it's not paid to her as part of her salary. I know that for a fact.
So that is paid independent of the salary?
Yes. That is why Joyce Bauer Mokhtari gets a book, goes to the depot at the castle to go and draw on that condition.
Right.
That is why the minister at the ministry receives that fuel in coupons or whatever to get his work done. So if today you are saying that that minister is actually going to use his salary to do that work, you are lying. It's a flat lie. And I can bet you, we can verify this a week from now. It's not possible. Yesterday you read TUC saying that if the government continues, they are going to ground government business. Because do you know how much a minister of state earns? Do you know how much it will cost him to run his vehicle for 1 month to get his work done? What are you talking about? So first of all, it's a lie. Don't even put this out to put yourself into difficulty in the future. You are my friend. And you are a very intelligent person for that matter. You can't compromise yourself in that way just because of politics. Nana, people are going to be given fuel to do their official duties. That is fact. Under this same so-called policy. And that is what it has always been. Nobody is giving any other extra fuel outside what is being given to you to run the week to get your official duties done. So if you come and tell us that you have cancelled fuel allowance, you are expressly telling us that you are no longer giving us fuel to undertake our official duties. Then we ask, how are they going to perform those official duties? Your response is that they should use their salary that they receive to get the work done. The response of the of Shamima Muslim is that when you are going to do official duty, you raise a memo and you be given for. We are confused. They should come clean. The only reason why this announcement was made yesterday was because of the burden they are bringing onto us today. And I'm sure we'll talk about it briefly before we close. And so when we get there, we'll deal with it.
Very well. Hamza.
You see, first of all, I think that I was very clear. I said that salaries and other entitlements, and that MPs are entitled to fuel allowances. I made that point very clear, including ministers of state, especially those who also double as ministers of state and MPs. So I was very clear.
So is this to bring some sanity in it? Because from what you're saying, that means MPs, you can still draw on fuel as an MP, draw as a minister,
no,
and that's
you can't.
Double.
But if you do that, it is obviously double.
It might even be triple because then
if your conditions of service, you see, but that's why we're talking about double salaries in the past. Yeah, you understand? Because people were benefiting as sitting members of parliament, and at the same time they were benefiting as ministers of state. You understand? So let us understand that distinction. It's very, very important. And for miracles, and that's why I respect Senior Kumri's position on the matter, because he called for us to ensure that we actually see the policy through. He's not saying that it is not true, and it's something that cannot be done. In the dictionary of the NPP, anything that reduces inflow of money into their private pockets cannot be done, in the words of Miracles Abuaji. This government is not interested in things that brings money into our individual pockets as appointees. This is a government that is committed to making sacrifices for the development of this country. So understand where he's coming from, his perspective, because they are not used to that. It is alien to them. It is always about their self-interest and how to preserve same. So when you have a government that has shown commitment and willingness to depart from factors that inures to the benefit of only appointees, they find it so difficult to comprehend. And so in their dictionary, it cannot be done. Our invitation to the good people of this country, especially to the civil society organizations, is to police government on this policy and ensure that indeed we live up to expectation. And COPEC was out yesterday lauding that initiative and also calling for the publishing of the data in terms of the amounts that we are likely to save. And I respect that call. That is where the discussion should focus on. And we must move away from it cannot be done. It cannot be done. It is that mentality that took he and his boss into opposition. And so the NDC will not make that mistake. We will allow him to languish in his own created bubble of it cannot be done and watch us do it, so that he would begin to learn that when it comes to policies and implementation, and when it comes to fidelity to the expectations of the good people of this country, the National Democratic Congress and His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama stands tall, because we are doing it. And so they must shut up and learn how it can be done.
Very well. Thank you. A few messages come in, and this one says, good morning. I think Miracles lack understanding of the whole security thing. How Okumsi was on red alert coming from the Kasua incident. He had no business to be there. This is Lee from Bawi. This one says, hello, good morning, Mr. Host. Please tell Miracles Abuaji when Hawa Kumsi was attacking innocent people in Kasua, where was Akufo-Addo and Baumia. Let's stop the hypocrisy and love Ghana. Well, that is your allegation. This one says, good morning, Nana. I am so glad our president decided to cancel the fuel allowance. I'll be very grateful if he cancels those certain allowances as well, because those monies are also causing financial stress in the country. However, only the ministers should be allowed to use the allowance for their duties, but MPs should be cancelled. Most of them are annoying us because when business is in session in parliament, they don't show up and they go and collect those fuel allowances. Master Planner Junior from Kintampo says, great insights by the communications goddess Miracles Abuaje. Hey, he's calling you communications goddess Miracles Abuaji. President Muhammad's decision to scrap the fuel allowances of his appointees is a good call, but it is one of the PR and for the camera's agenda. Even the code of conduct he launched some months ago is being sidestepped by his appointees. Doomsday levy has started today. Ghanaians are watching closely.
Nana, you know he's going for communications, right? We have to pull resources.
That's a good one, and now please, I want to ask: when you're doing your official duty for your station, do you buy your own fuel? Sometimes you people should speak the truth to some of these politicians where they are not telling the truth. Hamza should know there is a tomorrow.
Hamza won't go to heaven. He will not go to heaven. Hamza will not make it to heaven.
On that note, let's go on a break.
He will make it to heaven.
Let's go on a break at this point. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Stay with us.
Life can get hectic, and sometimes we forget to prioritize our well-being. That's where Vernal Mineral Water steps in. A refreshing solution packed with essential minerals, Vernal Mineral Water keeps you hydrated and balanced. Whether you're at home or work, Vernal Mineral Water is there to keep you going. Don't let a busy schedule hinder your health. Make Vernal Mineral Water a part of your daily routine. Share the love with Vernal Mineral Water, the choice for a healthy, vibrant you.
This advert is FDA approved.
I run from my father, who never gave up on us.
Register now for the ABSA Black Star Marathon, because your story matters.
No matter how far you run away, you always come back to where you started.
All the couple guns.
Tortured, mutilated, fingers cut off.
I can lend you the money. My boss believes in giving players another chance.
You don't know what to do if you don't have the money to pay back. Come and listen to me.
Sir, it's done. Good. 1 week, that is all you got to pay up.
You've been gambling. Again.
Unfortunately, we're still chasing shadows. He's clearing the board to make way for something bigger.
How could you do this to us, God?
Who's there?
I gotta fix this.
You're welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily here on Channel 1 TV. We're having the news review segment. Quite an interesting conversation so far. You are invited to be part of the show. Send us your thoughts, your comments, and your contributions. Your messages are coming in and coming in fast. I'll take a few more and then we'll move to the issue of illegal mining. The political appointees will have an appointment letter stating fuel allowance, but yet there is a presidential pronouncement cancelling the fuel allowances of all appointees now. Henceforth, no appointee will be given appointment letter with fuel allowance on it again. This is from Jampo. This one says, cancellation of fuel allowances and matters arising were so confusing, especially the explanation given by Shamima Muslim. But she's not on this platform, so we can't hold that. Haj Ahmed from Nima says that. Kojo from Peki said, Miracles is still in campaign mode and could be pardoned. Most appointees have so many items built into their salaries and entitlements, such as house help, gardener, housing, and fuel, yet continue to enjoy the accommodation and official vehicles. Okay, this one is greeting Dennis. He says, good morning to the communicators communicator. Dennis Miracles Abuachi. This one says, please tell that NPP man that the fuel allowances deserve to be cancelled. Are the ministers not paid? What are they using their salaries for? That man is confusing us. Okay. This one says, please, I work with a bank where we are getting fuel allowance added up to our salary. But when we are going out to perform official duty, we have our transport or fuel allowance paid to us. Okay, very well. Let's deal with the issue of illegal mining. The National House of Chiefs is urging government to deal decisively with the menace. The president says Galamsey is now a national emergency. Dennis, speak to us.
Before I come to Galamsey, I mean, it's 8:30. I don't know how many minutes you are giving me, so I can.
I'm giving you 5 minutes for this issue of Galamsey.
Okay. So Nana, we'll talk about the Dumsor levy later.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know why His Excellency Muhammad thinks that Galamsey is now an emergency. Is he? not the person that in 2024 October was on TV saying that he agrees with the TUC that the president then, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, should declare a state of emergency. At that time, was he lying when he created an impression as if it was a national emergency? Or why is he now realizing that it's a national emergency? Was he not the one that said the only reason why Galamsey is thriving in this country is because the president and his people at the Jubilee House are involved? In fact, his cabinet ministers, like Sam George, said that any president worth its salt that is serious about Galamsey can end it in 2 weeks. These are the cabinet ministers' words. Felix Kwacho Fosu said that the only reason why Galamsey is happening everywhere in this country is because the Jubilee House is involved. Joyce Bawa Mokhtari, my friend, I mean, she has a view on everything. There's no subject matter that Joyce Bawa Mokhtari didn't make a comment on. Said that Galamsey is not done by anybody apart from government officials and Akufo-Addo and his people. There are probably 1, 2 or 3 reasons why MPP lost power. One of them, chief of them, was Galamsey. These people heightened Galamsey. In fact, for the first time in the history of this country, there was a whole week of demonstration, series of 1 week of demonstration. Professor Jampu used UTAC to blackmail government to the point that 2 weeks to elections, he was agitating that the whole country, the whole trade union, will shut down the country until the government calls for a state of emergency. They told us that the only reason why Galamsey is going on in Ghana is because MPP and the Akufo-Addo's officials are in. Now MPP is out of power. The Jubilee House is no longer occupied by Akufo-Addo and his people. They used to call the Jubilee House Jolobi House. The NDC. They were calling the Jubilee House Jolobi House. Now Akufo-Addo and his people are gone. Why do we still have Galamsey? Is President Mahama engaged in Galamsey? Where is Joyce Bawa Mokhtari's concession? Where is Hamza's mining concession? These guys tagged every MPP person a Galamseyer. And we kept telling them, do not politicize Galamsey. Do not politicize Galamsey. Do not politicize. They couldn't care less. Because all they wanted was political power. Today, everybody watching will tell you that Galamsey has tripled in terms of its activity. The government itself is buying gold from the Galamseyers. Yes. Go to TikTok. The Galamseyers are now complaining. They are even putting themselves into a labor union. Complaining that government is buying their gold at a cheaper rate and they are not happy. Haven't you seen those videos?
Nana, you can't be quiet and watch.
No, but that is truth. The videos are there.
I have not seen those videos.
Can I please?
You know better than him. Unless if he decides to be mischievous.
I have not seen that video.
So you must take it for the sake of your listeners.
I cannot speak to it.
So you must question him. What
seconds.
evidence does he have to show that the government buys gold from Galamsey?
I mean, that's an allegation he is making. That's an allegation he is making.
You're taking 30 seconds. Can I continue now?
Please
30 seconds of my 5 minutes.
But I mean, you should know that the responsibility lies on who alleges to.
Yes, but why? I'm coming to speak to it. Nana, these boys that, these days when they are doing Galamsey, they video themselves.
Yeah.
They video themselves. They have videoed themselves. They're receiving a Galamsey TikTok account. There is a Galamsey TikTok account.
But that does not suggest that government is buying from them.
You are not doing your work, Nana.
There is a Galamsey TikTok account. These guys are in the pit doing Galamsey. Then they are the same people who come and say, Sami Jamfi, go to Nona 12,000 or 8,000. The guys are self-confessing. Why haven't they arrested them? The guys are basically self-confessing that the gold that they mined illegally, which they themselves have a TikTok account. Go to TikTok. Everybody watching me, take TikTok and enter Galamsey. You will see Galamsey account, not one, not two. They have Galamsey TV. Go to TikTok. These same people now have come out to say that the gold that they are captured in a Galamsey pit, that they are selling, they are saying that you go there in a matchbox. They are going small. Then they aggregate it into some quantity, then they sell. They are saying that you are buying it at a cheaper rate.
But that's their allegation. There's no proof.
Arrest them. If there is no better evidence than self-confession. Is there any evidence greater than self-confession?
Very well.
So what are you talking about? The guys themselves who are mining the thing, the Galamsey, and selling it are saying that you are buying it at a cheaper rate, said evidence. They are the biggest evidence we can have.
Right.
The president is basically just going through what he sowed.
He's reaping what he sowed in opposition.
Basically, you understand? He's testing. You know, these people, they gave us a lot of medicine. And since they came to office, they've been testing it. But when you are giving it to them, they're complaining. The president is involved in Galamsey. I think so. Because he believed same in opposition. All the people at the presidency, they are all doing Galamsey. Because they said it. My friend, Sami Jemfi, who was the director of communication of the NDC, went to the riverside on River Pra, sat in the boat.
I have a very problem with the way you are moderating.
I need to make a point. Then I give you the opportunity to come back.
Into Galamsey.
But you don't believe it. I believe the president.
No, you should have listened to him.
He's not listening. He's not listening.
He says he wants to believe same because same was said by the NDC in opposition.
That NDC government appointees are into Galamsey.
Yes, that is the he says MPP appointees were into Galamsey.
No,
when NDC was in opposition.
I listened to him very well.
You are taking 30 seconds of my time. 30 seconds of my time.
You see, he's concerned about time. And anyway, I'll let him go.
He's wrapping up in 1 minute.
I am telling you that the president and all its functionaries in opposition claimed that the only reason why Galamsey was thriving in Ghana was because Nana Akufo-Addo is doing Galamsey and all his government appointees. And I'm saying that with the benefit of hindsight, I believe them. And that is why now Nana Akufo-Addo and his people are off Galamsey and off government. And Mahama and his people are into Galamsey. Because if the president is not into Galamsey, then why is it that Sam George is a cabinet minister and knows how a president can end Galamsey in 2 weeks? And Galamsey has escalated for 6 months like never seen before. Today, go to Koforidua, the Densu River, that when the taxi drivers have overheating, they run and go and fetch water to put in their engine, is turned into Milo without milk. Densu River, Koforidua Township. Go to Osino, in the middle of town, in the Osino market, the woman who is driving Banku, he drives Banku small, then he washes the soil small, looking for gold. It's everywhere.
All right.
The NDC chairman for Upper Dencha East was seen accosting military men and strangling them to death. Why? Because they are fighting Galamsey. Go to Ashanti region. When you are driving from Accra to Kumasi, by the roadside, right in the clear view of the presidency and the government, they are doing Galamsey.
All right, thank you, Dennis.
These people are risking the future and the lives of this country, and they are hiding it under PR and gimmicks.
Thank you.
So the president shouldn't come and announce to us and tell us that Galamsey is the roadside, right in the clear view of the president.
Before he became president, he was clear that the issue of Galamsey was a national emergency. Yesterday, he reiterated that point and indicated his government's commitment to ensuring that we nip that in the bud. That is not contradiction. That is not a change in position. That is consistency and acceptance of responsibility as sitting president of the Republic of Ghana.
It is lamentation.
Something
lamentation. Why are you lamenting?
Dennis, please.
Something they lacked. You see, no, but it is expected to ruffle him, so you can allow him. So that is a marked departure. Again, he sits on this platform and calls the legitimate demands of Ghanaian citizens that their government that they gave their mandate to in 2016 and 2020 to deal with the menace of Galamsey, he called it blackmail. So when Ghanaians were up in arms demanding for the government to take action, Dennis Adwaje, spokesperson to the Baumia campaign, is referring to the demands of the Ghanaian people as blackmail. Lecturers in this country stood up. He says they were blackmailing the government. Can you imagine the way the MPP thinks? Little wonder that they took everybody in this country for granted. And they were working on every legitimate human being. As if they owned the universe. That arrogance of power is still continuing to manifest even in opposition.
Fix the LMC, fix it.
He sits on this platform and lies through his teeth that the Galamsey menace has degenerated. What statistics does he have to demonstrate that? I can tell you as a matter of fact that hitherto under them, almost all our forests were under siege. Today, we have been able to secure not less than 11. It's not less than 7.
How do you lie like
that?
That
they couldn't even enter. We have secured it back to the state. That is progress. Under this government, our minister responsible for lands and natural resources has also embarked on stakeholder engagement That is now leading to the discovery of hitherto communities that we didn't even know existed under them. Remember the time is it Nimri Forest? Discoveries of large-scale communities. They didn't know. They presided over 8 years and had no inkling, or they decided to bless it by inaction. This government acted and dissolved that entire community. That is progress. That is a show of commitment when it comes to the fight against Galamsey. What did they do? Is it today that Dennis is beginning to realize that river bodies have become milky or more even dirtier than we all knew? Is it today? He was not watching the national television stages, even Channel 1 and other sister stations on daily basis used to showcase how polluted our water bodies had become. He was spokesperson to the Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia campaign. Didn't he see those things? Where was he? And today he goes back to their own legacy of how they are avatars. That is what responsible government will do. Especially a responsible government will do. Especially a government that has indicated that is not willing to shield anybody. When a newspaper publication constituted basis of a report on conflict of interest, they fought against it. On the contrary, this government has decided to act on newspaper publications and proceeded to direct our state institutions to investigate these allegations. That is a marked departure and a show of respect to those in the media who are doing their work and sensibility to the citizens of this republic. That is progress. This is not a government that is likely. Yes, I'll do. This is not a government that would take for granted any piece of information, especially when it comes to the fight against corruption, Galamsey and corruption. We will not take it for granted, even if it is coming from Dennis Miracles Abuaji. That Hamza Suin is engaged in Galamsey, even without announcing the government, I'm convinced, will investigate me. Unlike them, they provided a cloak of protection for appointees associated with them, from the Chief of Staff's office to the President's office, including to their party regional structures, where known party executives were engaged in illegal mining. When known presidential staffers, DCs under them, were engaged in illegal mining. This is not the story when it comes to John Dramani Mahama's led administration now. And that is a marked progress. You must be humble enough to learn the humility of this government and its commitment to responding to the legitimate needs of the Ghanaian people. That is the difference between us and you.
Illegal mining, the devastation of natural resources, the water bodies, the forest reserves and all.
I think that I'll plead with my colleagues that in looking at this issue of Galamsey, we shouldn't reduce it to one of a campaign issue or an issue of contest between who did this, who did West. Because what we face now is an existential issue where water bodies are getting polluted. And water is becoming one of the most scarce resources going forward. And we need to set up as a country. But all I've heard around the table this morning is about who did this and who didn't do that. Look, the issue with Galamsey started over 10 years ago. Over 10 years ago. It's been going on for quite, and it's growing consistently and becoming more alarming. For instance, we lost Major Mahama. In that whole episode, we were only focused on dealing with the people who were involved in the killing of that man. But the issue itself, we never got to the bottom of it. You know that the MC, when in that area where Mahama was killed, you know the MC came out initially on radio and said, look, he had no idea that there was military presence in his district. What happened? The government immediately removed that MC and sent that MC to Ghana Maritime Authority. What did we do? We didn't go to the bottom and say, what mining activity was Major Mahama protecting? We never bothered to investigate that matter. Was it legal or illegal? So even our own state agencies like the military and police have become agents for hire in illegal mining activities, which governments have not been sincere to deal with. The 2BN commander, Lieutenant Colonel J.N. Honyesi, 2BN, 2017, he was alleged to have been involved in illegal mining. He was removed. what has happened? Who and what activities was he protecting? You see, so our political parties need to set up and begin to be sincere with this issue of Galamsey, because it is an existential issue. We have had Ghana Academy of Arts and Science, UTAG, TUC, everybody saying, look, let us deal with this issue. When the NDC was in opposition, what didn't they say? They said they would ensure the repeal of 2462, LI 2462, which act or LI gave permission for mining in forest reserve. 6 months, 7 months down the line, we haven't heard anything. Our governments need to be consistent, because it is no secret that immediately governments change hand. The NDC, the MPP boys simply say, look, your government has come and take over the Galamsey. It is no secret. So we know that party agents.
You think they've passed it on?
We know, exactly, they say they passed on the baton. We know that party agent is no secret in this country. That party agents and members are informed about political actors are clearly engaged in Galamsey.
Even if that exists, the government must crack the whip. I don't care about who I'm to have his day.
And we see the same.
I'm sure His Excellency doesn't care about that.
We see the same stories coming up again.
He doesn't care about that. President Mama is not interested in any association, anything related to Galamsey. You know it.
Then why is he buying from the Galamseyers?
Who? President Mama.
Yes.
How does he buy from the
How is he
Galamseyers?
buying gold from the
What evidence
Galamseyers?
do you have?
Are you guys having your own conversation, or you're having a show? Please, let's not do this.
We are
having a show. You're having your own conversation on the side.
So I think it is a very worrying trend. One, because these stories we are hearing today, during the MPP government, they seized excavators. Then the excavators disappeared. We are hearing the same story with NDC. Excavators were seized. The excavators have disappeared. So clearly, our governments are not showing sincere interest
Not at all.
in dealing with the issue of Galamsey. But I think that the call by the chief recently that the government must deal with it, it's also something we shouldn't ignore. Because this is a chief who sits in the Western region, knows what is happening to his environment, and is saying, look, this is not right. Look, we are in a state where we tend to condemn our old traditional practices. But our traditional authorities knew that you do not pollute water, because water is life.
Yeah.
And therefore, they made clear laws about how to protect our water bodies, how forests around water bodies should not be cut down, and issues like that. But in today's world, where we have all the knowledge about science, technology, and yet we are destroying water bodies. The Ghana Water Company has complained about the increasing cost of treating water. Why are our governments still behaving this way? I think that as citizens, we should become more and more concerned about the sincerity of our governments in dealing with this matter. And we should not just sit aside and watch. We have authorities like the EPA. We have the Minerals Commission. We have the Forestry Commission. And a number of government agencies who are supposed to regulate practices in all these areas. But again, we have tied their arms behind their back. And then governments come up and say, we are setting up committees. Why are we not empowering these government agencies to do their work and bring people to book? Because the setting up of committees just adds cost without additional benefits. We go and buy drones, then tomorrow we do the... I mean, let's be sincere and let's be more constructive about this. At the heart of this issue of Galamsey are issues of unemployment, where communities feel that they are not being fairly treated. They are not getting benefits from the mines within their areas. So we need to look comprehensively at this issue. Go to Obuasi, over 100 years of mining. Go to Takwa. Look at all the places where we have mined historically. There's nothing to show in those towns today. And the people are beginning to feel that, look, government is simply coming here, taking all the wealth to Accra and Kumasi, and we are not being catered for. So we need to sincerely look at this issue and say, look, how do we ensure that the communities from which we are getting all these resources have a better livelihood, so that they can get employment? And these are the things that we need to be looking at. Instead of just going to take the military and say, go and kill these people or go and shoot at them. We need to be careful in dealing with this issue.
Thank you, Engineer. We have just about a few minutes to go, but I want to touch briefly on the 1 cedi fuel levy, which takes effect today. Hamza, I'll start from you.
What else do you need about it?
Just let us know the implications thereof, the resistance we have seen.
I think that on this table we have had elaborate discussions on it. But even before I do so, permit me to quickly throw a word of caution to my senior comrade. You see, if we want to adopt a neutral posture, it is also important for us to acknowledge where government is putting in the effort, especially when it comes to the fight against galamsey.
Why are you attacking him and trying
I'm
to
not.
tell him
I'm
what
just
to say?
cautioning because I trust his
Dennis,
judgment.
our time is up. Let him land. We have just 1 minute.
So no, yes, but that's
Why
what I'm
you
saying. That
directing him
I'm
what to say?
inviting
Dennis,
him.
thank you.
I'm
No, I'm
inviting him
standing
to
up for a
acknowledge
fellow
the difference
citizen.
because I know within him, regardless of the misgivings that he would have had in terms of how successive governments have handled the issue of galamsey.
It's the same thing. Mention one new thing. He doesn't.
Appreciates.
There is no new thing your government has done.
Dennis,
Political commitment
No, but I'm
on the
standing up
part
for our
of
fellow
this
citizens.
government.
There is nothing so good thing.
Anytime I am speaking, he becomes uncomfortable.
Because you
So I
lie
can
too much
appreciate
in the
it.
issues.
Dennis,
I can pardon him. Who can lie in this country more than you?
You want to comment on one thing?
Who can lie more than Dennis?
Good. After this,
Who can lie more than
we
Dennis?
can go.
Who can lie more than
Hamza,
you?
His time is
So
up.
I see, but fortunately, we are built around the pillars of integrity. So we would not lie. And whatever I tell you on this platform is based on information that I have verified within my ability to do so. Now, you see, on the issue of the $1 we've made the point clearly, a number of times, we've stated it clearly, that we are having to deal with a bad situation that we've inherited, largely influenced by the inefficiencies, corrupt practices of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and the New Patriotic Party. That has left our energy sector struggling. And so there's the need for us to be able to meet the demands of that sector. And that is why we propose the introduction of this levy. And even in doing so, we still maintain that it does not add to the cost of living as far as the permutations are concerned. Because fuel prices are relatively lower than we came to meet, and we are trying to take advantage of the process now, especially when it comes to the austerity measures that this government is driving, to ensure that we raise the needed revenue to be able to keep the cost of electricity down. Because if we are able to keep the cost of fuels powering our generation capacity down, it will have a rippling effect when it comes to the prices of commodities as well. And that is what this government is committed to. I hope that the good people of this country will bear with us and support this government on this journey, so that if for nothing at all, we can together bring back the energy sector and ensure that the likes of Miracles Abu
Are you seeing your time? But I'm calling you in. Hamza, thank you.
The governance of this country.
Thank you, Hamza.
Nana, this is important.
Hamza,
Nana, finally.
Hamza, don't do this.
I need to remind you.
Hamza,
please, I need to remind you.
Let's not do this. I gave you a minute. I gave you a minute.
We are having to deal with.
It is well known. Thank you.
This is not
Thank you. No, we had just a minute. I told you. Dennis, 1 minute. One CD levy. 1 minute.
The only reason why all this drama is happening today in this country is because the government is introducing one city domes levy. They did all the things they are doing with PR gimmicks. Let's throw in this galamsey matter. Let's throw in all these things because today they are coming to burden the Ghanaian people with 4 cedi 50 pesos per gallon, 45,000 cedis, old Ghana cedis. Now you see, let's give this government some time. All these things will catch up with them.
Very well.
These PR gimmicks and all these tactics and all these scam of things that they are doing. See, this is coming on the back of a 16% increase in electricity. Today, as we speak, Swami traders yesterday were crying that they cannot even run their business. Cement prices is going up. Iron rod prices are going up. Then you come and slap on the people.
His time is up.
The people that you have given just 10% increase.
Thank you. Let's have engineer his thoughts on this. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you.
So just allow senior community to speak.
Of this 4 cedi.
You see why he says we go to heaven.
Dennis,
that is
Dennis, thank you. Engineer, 1 minute. Dennis, thank you. Let's have engineer do it.
Especially when it comes to some of these issues.
He is actually complaining.
Your track record, so don't waste time.
Hamza, thank you. Engineer, 1 minute, please. It's not fair to engineer. Let's. Dennis.
Drowning in deadlines, data running wild? Let's fix this together. Join the evolution, join the sharpest minds in HR at the HR Connect Conference 2025 on August 8 at the Marvin Peak Hotel, Accra, under the theme Empowering HR Excellence, Leveraging Data, Resilience, and Wellness for a Thriving Workplace. It's not just another conference, it's strategy, tech, wellness, and a few smart laughs too. Panels, keynotes, real talk, and real solutions. Let's lead, connect, and transform the way we work. For further inquiries and bookings, please call on 0541 222 365 to secure your seat. HR Connect Conference 2025. Lead, connect, transform.
Me pay to the me sister me dad dear me chibia na me am shishimi akuna ida me many tales am me saka me say me ida so te sika se dia so demo hwe juju so mo bag de ho dia me ba bi free so one hwe bag na ma won na me hwe wow se me nya kwanfo bi na mo sole o hey.
Running makes me mentally strong. It is my source of happiness. Whenever I feel bored, I go out there and run a few miles.
Register now for the ABSA Black Star Marathon, because your story matters.
There come a time in all of our lives when your brilliance and your intelligence and skill is restricted and limited. And it is that day that you will realize the need of the supernatural and spirituality.
This is the moment. We must come together. Hear me. Enough is enough. It's time for something to give. It's time for something to bow. For the first time, we are bringing it to Ghana, the global prayer works coming from all over the nations of the world to lift up prayer. It's time for the powers of the dark kingdom to bow their knees. When we gather, when we pray together, it gives us the upper hand.
The world is in a state of emergency. The church is in a state of emergency.
And all we do is to pray 1 or 2 times and think we've made it. No, it's a lifestyle. Praying in the morning, praying in the afternoon, praying in the evening, praying in the night, praying at midnight, and praying consistently.
It is time to stop running business as usual. It will not work.
The time that God has set aside for you and I. And all you got to do is to show up. This is a divine summons. It's a subpoena. You can't miss it.
Let's get into the world of sports like never before.
No what back.
You know how we do it on Fridays.
Join us every Friday at 7 p.m. on 97.3 City FM for Sports Panorama, your ultimate destination for all things sports.
One of the biggest scandals in this country's history. You can't spend 250 million USD and come out with that.
From the thrill of association football to the excitement of basketball, tennis, athletics, and even emerging sports, we cover it all. Whether it's the Premier League or the latest NBA showdown, we bring you the stories behind the stars.
Getting an opportunity to become a national team coach, you should understand the politics around football.
And don't miss the prayer of the rabbi.
Joe was Zebaut.
How Zebaut there?
Zebaut won Chaboke Walako.
We're not just about the games, we're about the community.
If you are going to be given this kind of treatment, then you need to be that guy. When I look at him play, he is not it.
Or when it's time for Don't Call Me.
Moria picking.
Join the conversation as we connect with fans across the country and beyond. Want the latest updates? Send us your thoughts and we'll feature your comments live on air. And remember, we like to hear your predictions for matches and your thoughts in general. Think you know who's going to win? Let us know.
Big shout outs to my YouTube people.
Tune in every Friday at 7 p.m. only on 97.3 City FM.